Okay, so areas of shapes, question 1, non-calculator. So there's two rectangles here. I'm told that the length of QR is 10. I'm told that the width of this rectangle here, BC, is the same as the width of this rectangle here, PQ. I'm also told that the perimeter of ABCD, so the distance all around this shape, is 26, whereas the area, the amount of space inside this shape, is 45. I have to find the length of AB, so I have to find the length of this rectangle here. And the whole question is 4 marks. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to find the width here of PQ. Then I'm going to use the perimeter of this shape here that I'm given to find the length of AB. Okay, so first of all, because I'm told that the area of PQRS is 45 centimeters squared, and I also know that the area of a rectangle is the length times the width, well then I know that 45 is equal to the length of this PQ times by the length of this QR. So therefore I can do 45 divided by QR divided by 10, which gives me 4.5. So this width here must be 4.5. In other words, 4.5 times 10 gives us 45. So we know that this must be 4.5. Now the question tells us that BC equals PQ. So the width of this rectangle is equal to the length that I've just found out. So this must also be 4.5. So I've labelled that on this rectangle here. Now the next part of this question, okay, involves the fact that I'm told that the perimeter of this rectangle here is 26. So because the perimeter is also twice the length added to twice the width, in other words the distance all the way around, then I can equate them like this. I can say that 26 is equal to 2 lots of AB plus 2 lots of BC, which is 2 lots of 4.5. Okay, so 2 lots of 4.5 is 9, so 26 equals 2AB plus 9. Then using the balancing method, if I subtract 9 from both sides, I'm left with 17 equals 2AB. Then if I divide both sides by 2, okay, that gives me the length of AB, which is 8.5 centimeters, and that would be 4 marks for that question. So 4 marks, you show all your working out and work through that question. Okay, so question 2 states that the perimeter of a right angle triangle is 72 centimeters. The length of its sides are in the ratio of 3 to 4 to 5. Work out the area of the triangle. So this question, okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this perimeter into this ratio. Okay, because remember, if I add up the ratio of these sides, that would be the perimeter. Okay, so working that through, imagine as a bar model. Here are the 3 sides. Okay, I've got 3 parts here, 4 parts here, and 5 parts here, and they're all equal parts. Now if I do 72 divided by all of these equal parts, so 72 divided by 12 parts altogether, okay, then each part would be worth 6. So each part is worth 6. Okay, and then because the shortest side is 3 lots of 6, so 3 lots of 6 parts, that would be 18 centimeters. The second side would be 4 lots of 6, that would be 24 centimeters. And the longest side would be 5 times 6, which is 30 centimeters. So a right angle triangle would look something like this. Okay, it would be 18 centimeters, 24 centimeters, and the longest side would be 30 centimeters. Okay, now the longest side in the right angle triangle is always opposite the right angle, so that's why I've drawn it like this. Now I've got to find the area of the triangle. To find the area of a triangle, I need the base and the height. When I multiply them together and I half the answer, so divide by 2, I'll get the area. So just substituting these values in, 18 and 24 into here, and dividing by 2, I get 216 centimeters squared. That question there is worth 4 marks. Make sure you show all you're working out for that question. Okay, question 3, I'm told that a square has got an area of 81 centimeters squared. The first thing we're going to do in part A is find the perimeter of the square. And then later on in the question, I'm given a right angle triangle and a parallelogram, give some information about them, and I have to find the height of the parallelogram, the perpendicular height. The whole question here is worth 5 marks. So let's go work through question A first of all. So since it's got an area of 81, but it's a square, well, I know that the area of a square is just one of the sides squared. So because the sides are all equal. Okay, so now to find the length of the side, I do the inverse of squaring. So I square root the area to get the length of one side of the square. So the square root of 81 is 9. So square root the area, I get 9. Now to find the perimeter, well, the perimeter is the distance all the way around the shape. So it's the sum of all the sides. Each side is 9. So 4 times 9 is 36 centimeters. That's 2 marks. So the second question here, okay, I need to find the height of this parallelogram. Okay, so what I can do first of all is I can find the area of the triangle, okay, using the formula base times height divided by 2. Then since the area of the parallelogram is 5 times the area that I can work out, I can find the area of the parallelogram, and then I can use a formula for the area of the parallelogram to find that missing height there. So let's work through that now. So the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Remember, it's a perpendicular height. That's a right angle, so that's fine. 16 times 9 divided by 2 gives me 72. So the area of that triangle is 72. Now the area of the parallelogram, okay, well, I know it's base times height. That's a formula for the area of a parallelogram, base times height. So it's 30 times h, the perpendicular height. So 30h. Now since the area of the parallelogram is 5 times the area of the triangle, okay, so it's 5 times 72, then I can put this equal to 5 times 72, which is 360. So 30h is 360. Divide both sides by 30 using the balancing method to solve this equation. I'll get h equals 12. So the height of this parallelogram must be 12 centimeters. The whole question there is 5 marks. Make sure you show all you're working out for this question, and you'll get those marks. Question 4 states I've got 2 rectangles. Okay, so we've got rectangle A, rectangle B. When the area of the 2 rectangles are equal, I have to find the perimeter of this rectangle B. Okay, the whole question is worth 5 marks. So this question actually involves forming and solving equations. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of A in terms of algebra. I'm going to find the area of B in terms of algebra. Okay, well, the area of a rectangle is the length times the width. So following that through, the rectangle A, the area is going to be 2.5 times 4x, which would give me 10x. The area of rectangle B would be 7 times 2x minus 3. Just bear in mind, this 7 is multiplied by the whole of this. So I'm putting it in brackets here. Otherwise, you're not multiplying by the whole of this width. So 7 times 2x minus 3. If you expand the brackets, you get 14x minus 21. So that's the area of A, that's the area of B. Now, since the area of A is equal to the area of B, I can put this expression equal to that expression. That gives me this equation here, 10x equals 14x minus 21. So now I've formed my equation. Okay, now in this equation, I've only got one unknown. I've got x, okay, but it's on both sides. So I need to just get it onto one side. So I've got more x on the right, so I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides to get rid of this 10x here. If I subtract 10x from both sides, I end up with 0 equals 4x minus 21. Now, I'm going to do the inverse of negative 21, which is add 21. So add 21 to both sides, which gives me 21 equals 4x. And now if I divide by 4, which is the inverse of multiply by 4, so divide by 4 on both sides, I'll get 5.25 equals 1x. So x equals 5.25. Okay. Now remember, in this question, I have to find the perimeter of this rectangle here. Okay, so to find the perimeter of this rectangle, I need to know the length of all the sides. I already know the height of this rectangle, 7, and this must be 7. I don't know the width. Okay, all I know is that the width is 2x minus 3. But I've just worked out x. So if I substitute x into 2x minus 3, then I can find the width. So 2x minus 3 is the same as 2 times x minus 3. 2 times 5.25, subtract 3, and that would give me 7.5. So now, if the width is 7.5 and the length is 7, to find the perimeter, I'll just add up all the length and width again. That gives me 29 centimeters. So the whole question there is 5 marks. Okay, make sure you follow it through what I've done there, okay, and show what you're working out. In this question here, I'm given a shape A, B, C, D, E, F, okay. I'm told that all the corners of the shape are right angles, they're all 90 degrees. The perimeter of the shape is 28 meters, that means the distance all around is 28 meters. And I'm asked to work out the area of A, B, C, E. So this shaded shape here, I need to work out the area of that, okay. Remember, this whole shape, okay, is made up of, it's basically a compound shape, okay. And within this compound shape, obviously you've got 2 rectangles here, but then if you look at these white sections, okay, these are triangles, okay. So when I'm starting this question now, I'm going to try and work out some of these missing sides in this shape first of all, okay, because I don't know the length of this side here, and I don't know the length of this side here, and I don't know the length of this long side here either, okay. So let me start labeling with some of those, okay. Well, the first thing I can do is I can find out the height of the whole shape, because that's simply the vertical height here, add that vertical height here, so that length DE is going to be 6, okay, so that's 6, okay, but I don't know this part, this section here AB, and I don't know the length of FE. So I'm just going to label this length AB as just X. I'm just putting a letter there because I don't know what it is. And because this is 3 here, this must be 3 as well. So this is X, and that's X, and so that's 3. Now I know that the perimeter of the shape is 28 meters. Okay, so if the perimeter is 28 meters, I know that the perimeter is the distance all the way around the shape with all the sides added up. Then I know that 28 is equal to 4, to this length here, add X, add 2, add 3, add 6, add that 3, add that X. So this is where this equation comes from, okay? And if I collect like terms on this right hand side of the equation, I'll get 28 equals 18 plus 2x. So the perimeter 28 is equal to 18 plus 2x. Now in this equation, I've only got one unknown, so I've got x here. Okay, so I need to solve this equation to find the value of that x. So to solve the equation, I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides of this equation. So that leaves me with 10 equals 2x. Okay, now this x is being multiplied by 2, so using the balancing method, I'm going to divide both sides by 2. That leaves me with 5 equals x. So x equals 5. So if x equals 5, I can now redraw this diagram with x as being 5. That's what the diagram would look like. Compare it to the top diagram. Okay, that's what I've got. So this is still 6. X is 5, so the whole width here is going to be 8. X is 5 here, so that's that diagram. Now, here I need to find the total area. Okay, the total area I'm going to find of this shape by just splitting them into 2 smaller rectangles. So I've got rectangle G and H. Okay, well the area of a rectangle is the length times the width. So for rectangle G, it's 2 times 3. Rectangle H is going to be 8 times 4. So the total area is going to be 6 add 32, which is 38. Now, to find the area of this shaded region here, I'm going to find the area of this white triangle. I'm going to find the area of this white triangle, and I'm going to subtract those 2 triangles away from this whole compound shape. That would leave me with this shaded area here. So I found the area of the whole shape. Let's find the area of the triangles. Okay, so the area of triangle I. Well, the area of triangle I, the area of any triangle is the base times height divided by 2. The base of the triangle is 8. The perpendicular height is 4. It's at right angles, remember, they're all right angles. So that gives me 8 times 4 divided by 2. The area of I is 16. The area of J, in a similar way, 6 times 3 divided by 2 is 9. So there's the area of the two triangles. So to find the shaded area of this shape, I'm now going to do the area of this whole compound shape, subtract the two triangles. So that gives me 38, take away this 6, so 38 is from here, take away the 16, take away the 9, that leaves me with 13, and the units are meters squared because everything here was in meters. So that question, okay, is all worth 5 marks. Quite a long question. Make sure you work all the way through it and show all you're working out. Like I've done, split your answer section into sections as you need to there to make sure that you're doing it step by step. For question 6, I've got two shapes here, a rectangle and I've got a trapezium. All the measurements are in centimeters and I'm told that the perimeters of the two shapes are the same, but I have to work out the area of the rectangle. So this question is worth 5 marks. So since the two perimeters are equal, okay, I can basically form an equation, okay? I can find the perimeter of the shape ABCD in terms of algebra, in terms of these length and width there, and I can find the perimeter of EFGH, okay, and I can equate those two expressions to form an equation. Then I'm going to solve that equation. When I solve that equation, I'll get the value of x. Then I can substitute that into this diagram here. I can find the length and width and multiply them to get the area of the rectangle. So let's do that now. So the perimeters are equal. That means the distance all around ABCD is going to be 3x plus 4, add 4x, add 3x plus 4, add 4x. And the perimeter of EFGH is going to be x minus 3, add 5x, add 7x minus 3, add 5x. Okay, so I don't need this perpendicular height for the perimeter. Okay, I don't need it for the perimeter, so I don't need this 4x. That's not part of the perimeter. So if I equate those two, I get this line here. Then I'm going to collect like terms to neaten up this whole equation. So I'm going to collect like terms. So 3x add 4x add 3x add 4x gives 14x. And then 4 add 4 gives 8. Similarly on this side, x add 5x, add 7x, add 5x gives 18x. Negative 3, subtract 3 gives negative 6. Now using the balancing method, I can subtract 14x from both sides, okay? Because I've got unknowns on both sides. I'm going to subtract 14x from both sides. That leaves me with 8 equals 4x minus 6. So now I've only got x on one side, which is good. So now I'm going to leave the x here, but I need to get rid of this negative 6. The inverse of negative 6 is add 6. So add 6 to both sides, and I get 14 equals 4x. Now, this is x multiplied by 4. The inverse of multiply by 4 is divide by 4. So let me divide both sides by 4. That gives me 3.5 equals 1x. So x equals 3.5. Now look back at the question here. The question is to find the area of the rectangle. So if I know x equals 3.5, I can substitute that into this diagram here, okay, to find the length and the width. So let's do that now. So when I substitute x equals 3.5, I would get 3 times 3.5 add 4. 3 times 3.5 add 4, and the width would be 4 times 3.5. So that would be, the length would therefore be 14.5, and the width would be 14. And since the area is the length times the width, if I multiply those together, I end up with my answer for the area in centimeters squared, which is 203 centimeters squared. The whole question is 5 marks. Make sure you show all you're working out. Okay, but essentially the question is in 2 parts there. Question 7, I'm given a trapezium ABCD. Okay, and I'm given some of the sides. So I'm given 7 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 9 centimeters. Okay, I'm not given the length of this side here.